What's going on, family? We are officially on the journey to 1 million subscribers, and my team and I are giving away $30,000 to help you pay off your consumer debt. That's right. 3E3 community members will each get $10,000 to wipe out their consumer debt. Now, do you want in? It's simple. All you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my email list by going to AnthonyONeal.com and clicking on the Join the Community tab. That's 100% it. Check this out. At 940,000 subscribers, we're surprising one lucky person live on my show with the first $10,000, and we're going to give that person a financial makeover before paying off their debt. So, before we get to today's show, hit that subscribe button and let's hit it 1 million strong before my birthday, July 1st. All right? Love you all. Let's get to the show.
I said, okay, it makes sense. If I can do this, pay this price, obviously get a job, I've made back 20 times what I paid for the Careerist program. Now that my pay increased, I didn't just increase my lifestyle like that. I just kept that lifestyle so I could start pocketing and plan for the future. When you sell in times of crisis, one of the things that people run to is, and so actually when economies go bad, sales go up for us.
And everyone that's inside these 4-year universities should not be inside these 4-year universities. There are better tracks for them to accomplish what they need to be. What made you go from a theology background to careerist to now making 6+ figures a year doing your thing?
As a man, it's really the skills you have and what you bring to the table that makes your value. And then as you increase your value, that's how you get more money. If I didn't like what I do, I wouldn't be doing it.
Isaac, man, thanks so much for coming back to the table, man, for us, man. This is like our third opportunity to sit down and do an interview. And man, I'm excited to share your testimony, but I want to get straight into it, bro. Today's economy, we see that the market is going down. We see that people are concerned about their 401k benefits. Some people are getting laid off of the job. We're seeing the cost of goods are going up. People are panicking right now, just to be honest, bro. And I wanted to talk to you because, one, I want to see, like, how do you feel with everything going on in the market right now with your particular job situation and your particular income, even just within your particular life? How are you feeling about the market, specifically around your job situation? Do you feel secure? Are you encouraged? Are you concerned? Like, how are you really feeling right now?
Yeah, so I'm in a unique position because of the business and the segment or the work that I'm in. So even though I'm in e-com and even though I'm in sales and we're Shopify, we sell food. And so one of the things is when you sell food in times of crisis, one of the things that people run to is food. And so actually when economies go bad, sales go up for us. So that's a little yeah, thing. So being that, how do I feel about what's happening with my background? It's then making sure that we're able to capture as much of the traffic that's out there that's searching for this food, and then being able to supply them with the product that they're looking for. So yeah, I understand. And for me personally, I choose to focus on things, because what you focus on is where you'll kind of go and what you'll need to do. So I just choose to focus on things to help me and trust that, you know, I believe in God. And so I have leadership and help from a higher power as well. And so I have help, right? So I'm not panicking. I'm not worrying. I'm trying to just make sure that we as a business can go through the storm, especially with the tariffs and things that came. It's affecting us because even our American products are fine. We do try to focus on getting products from a lot of farmers that are here in America, but the products that we like, coconut, it's hard to get coconut here in the States. So the price of that's going to go up a little bit. So there's certain things we're going to have to do to adjust, and Americans are going to have to understand as we try to navigate what's happening. But yeah, we're trying to do the best that we can in these murky waters.
No, and I think that's what I appreciate about you. I love how you said, man, this is the career field that I'm in. we actually thrive in bad issues. But then at the same time, I just focus solely on what I can control, which I think that's super important for people to really walk away from what you just said. Like, I'm going to focus on the things I can control and not focus on the things that I can't control. Break down your career field again, because I think right now a lot of people are starting to look at like, hey, you know, man, my job is not as good, or my job is not as stable. And the tech industry right now is booming. And so I want you to break down your career field and how that is associated with the tech industry.
Yeah, so my background is in sales, really direct sales. I got introduced to it doing actually I studied theology in college, and then while I was doing that to pay for school, I started going door to door with college students and selling books. And so that gave me a like firsthand experience of selling. Um, After doing that for a few summers, I mean, I made 8,000 my first summer, 10,000 my second summer, and I never seen money like that. Yeah, in 2 months worth of work, right? In 2 months worth of work with no college degree, it's like, okay, so there's something about this selling thing. So then I worked at a marketing agency, which got bought up by web.com. And so I learned what like a Fortune 500 marketing agency looks like. So then I got more technical marketing background, but not really application, just selling it to businesses, which is like selling dreams. But through personal experience and perseverance, I was able to actually get personal experience, like running ads on Facebook and spending money. And so doing that for myself and for ministries, for different Christian organizations, and then businesses started paying me to do it. So combining my experience of direct selling, door-to-door sales, plus in theology, we have a lot of writing that you have to do, which goes very well with copywriting. So combining all of the things that I've had at my background into one, it makes me pretty unique of what I can bring to a business, because it's like I understand, a lot about business processes. After selling to so many businesses and talking to so many segments, you kind of all understand what the major pain points are. And then as a sales engineer, with what Careerist gave me, it's a different type of sales process that sales engineers go through, very more consultative selling than just like the straight line process, which is like the Jordan Belfort sales method, which is what I learned back selling web.com or PPC, like paid ads, which is like a very much like pressure. You want to like first deal incentive and all these different type of tactics to get people to make emotional decisions, versus where as a sales engineer, you're more just trying to uncover their pain points, find out if your solution is actually that thing that can help them. If it can't, you're not going to try to waste time, because that's just, a customer that buys that's uncertain is probably just going to churn, and it's not the type of customer you really want anyway. You want A+ customers. So learning that through Careerist and combining that together with what I have, it kind of, yeah. And then also they gave me like this Python course, which gave me some more ability with computing and advanced computing. So it's very useful. I should say it's helpful for me. And I know that my boss, he appreciates all the things that I bring to the table. And so, yeah, I feel like technology is a tool, just like any other thing is a tool, and computers are only as smart as the person who's using it, right? And so if you have time, you have the ability, there's things out there where you can learn how to use these tools to benefit yourself, so that you as a person, when you go to a job or go to work, can get your job done and do a whole lot more with the time that you have. So you can, and for me, I get paid on results. So I want big results. Right.
No, I love that. I love that, Isaac. And I love this. And y'all, those of you all who are watching right now, I want y'all to understand what Isaac just said here, man. And it's so interesting. So Isaac, I want to ask you this question, because you said you learned through Careers, which is a boot camp that I believe in today's day and time. I've been very big on education, right? So I just got back into the education space here recently myself. I'm actually graduating here in a couple of weeks with my bachelor's. I finished my bachelor's in science and finance and banking, and then getting my MBA. One thing being, inside the school, I've learned that the traditional route for, like, because I'm also a professor now, right? And one of the things I've learned being a professor is that everyone that's inside these 4-year universities, should not be inside these 4-year universities. There are better tracks for them to accomplish what they need to be doing, right? And I'm saying that as a professor at a historic Black college and university, all right? And one of the things I love about Careerist is that it's very affordable. It is super quick and very direct, right? But here's the thing too, I can say this: Careerist is not for everybody neither. I want to know what made Careerist the best thing for you, because me and you share similar backgrounds. You went to theology. I have a an associate's in the seminary degree in biblical studies, right? I was a youth pastor for years. And my school is well known for the seminary there at Virginia Union University. What made you go from a theology background to Careerist to now making 6+ figures a year doing your thing? And you're like, yo, I feel good in today's economy. What sparked that shift to go from theology to technology?
Okay. And I'll just be honest right there. I'll say we have the trajectory for to get 6 figures a year.
I love it.
I'm taking the sacrifice to help this business to grow. It's a small company.
Wow.
And so, yeah, but I get a lot of freedom. And like I said, I get paid by results. So I know what I wanted out of the job, and I was able to get what I wanted.
Let's stay right now. Well, you said, man, I sacrificed a large paycheck for two main reasons for what I hear. One, actually three. One was I actually believe in the company's mission. So they're paying me enough to survive. But because they can't pay me multiple 6 figures or even 6 figures, I have freedom. What does freedom mean to you? And I think you're 34. So at 34, what does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, as again, I'm able to save like 50% of my paycheck, right? And live comfortably. So I'm able to like save and live comfortably. I'm able to come in. I have my own office that we're in right now. I'm able to, leave if I need to. If I need to take some time off to travel to go overseas and do mission trips or just take time off, we just schedule that. I plan it. I go. He respects me to lead the company and do what I'm told to do. And then I'm rewarded by doing what I'm told to do. So I get to make my paycheck in a sense. So I get to work as hard as I want. Sales is like that. If you work in sales, anyone that works in sales understand, if you have the right incentives and you have the right structure, it's like a dog with a hot dog in front of you. You're just going to work, right?
Yeah.
And I like working. And so I found the right group of people to work with, a paid structure that works, that is, I wasn't making all that money back in the South. So I was used to having assertive lifestyle. Now that my pay increased, I didn't just increase my lifestyle like that. I just kept that lifestyle so I could start pocketing and plan for the future.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get excited when I hear stuff like this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It took some years to figure it out. Like he says, I'm 34, so I'm not as young as I was before, but I still have time ahead of me where I can plan. And I was able to pocket quite a bit last year, and I'm hoping to do even more this year. And so it's not just about, like, as you said, with the economy and surviving, I'm looking for 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead of what my goals are, my plans are to accomplish. And this is a vehicle to get me there.
It's a huge vehicle to get you there. And I love this. And one more quick question and pivoting, and then I need to come back because I think people want to know exactly what were the steps you took to get to where you are today. And even if it's a non-traditional route, I think we need to share it with Careerist, because I'm just, man, salute to my friends over there at Careerist. We're going to put all their information inside of today's show notes, because to be 34 and Isaac can save 50% of his paycheck, and then not only save 50% of his paycheck, but then have the freedom to travel and to do his mission trips that he desires to do with his local church and the local body of Christ. Man, that's amazing. I'm curious, Isaac, are you single, married?
Single.
Okay.
No kids.
Bring your mic up because we can barely hear.
Yeah, single, no kids, so that helps.
Single, no kids. All right, great. So Isaac, let's talk about this. Why Careerist, man? Because out of all the boot camps out there that you could have went to, Out of all the certifications you could have gotten, what made you choose Careerist, and how has Careerist impact your life today?
Careerist wasn't actually the first one. So I tried a few different courses and different avenues before I got to Careerist. But by the time I got there, I saw Cyrus. And so Cyrus was the influencer on Instagram that mentioned his background and what he went through. And but there's also another one called Course Careers. And so I was looking between the two, and Careerist is like 10 times the price. And so I was like, what is making them feel like they can charge 10 times more than this platform? And I looked at the results and I'm like, okay, if you really feel like you bring that much more value, and they're able to have a flexible payment structure for me, I said, okay, it makes sense. If I can do this, pay this price, obviously get a job, I've made back 20 times what I've paid for the Careerist program. and that's just going to every year after year, it's just going to keep multiplying what I've made back. So it did pay off. I was right. But so why I chose Careerist was the fact that they had real sales engineers that were currently working in the role of sales engineers teaching us. So it wasn't like a young teenager, because I've paid for some courses where it's an 18-year-old kid on the other line. I'm 28 or 29. I'm like, bro, you have not experienced life. Your heart hasn't even been broken yet. Like, you haven't even, you know what I mean? It's like once you go through enough heartache and pain, you can recognize it. And so anyway, I could just tell that these were actually grown men who had families, who had careers. These guys are obviously making 6-figure salaries, but yeah, they're taking time out of their day to invest into other people. So that was one thing that I really liked. The certification seemed really neat. The fact that they were going to help you with job placement was also really good, because it's like they're going to help you to recoup on your investment that you make. So there are a lot of things that looked good. They had a social proof. Plus, like I said, Cyrus was there. And since I went through the program, what's been really neat, I mean, not just giving me the skills like advanced computing, but teaching me how to do interviews. And then also with the LinkedIn optimization, that was a huge game changer, because when you can turn your LinkedIn into like an inbound funnel, you can, just like with Instagram or with any of these social platforms, if you're trying to target the right type of person to talk to, you just got to know how to optimize your LinkedIn. And so so LinkedIn optimization was a great tool. So shout out to them for that. But
are you still using LinkedIn today?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's like autopilot. It just grows and you share certain things. And they've actually done, this is the biggest video interview that they've done, but they've done another interview with me with Alina Miraz, I think, which was their content manager at the time. And they've done a couple written articles. And so I like the fact that they're a school where they want to obviously grow, and they've given to me some skills and abilities, and I would love to share that with other people as well. And so, you know, I know that there's hope for the future where, you know, as like what Cyrus did. Cyrus is getting rewarded by sharing this information with others. And that's the thing right now. There is so much information out there, but the best information is behind a paywall. That's just a fact. Wow. You know? Wow. And really, it's what you want at the other end. So if you're trying to get into tech and you don't understand it, you don't, you know, have a background, or you've seen things on YouTube, it's good to talk to people who are actually in that space. And you don't have to pay to talk to careers. You actually can talk to their consultants or their salespeople for free and really get a hands-on like experience to understand it. But yeah, it's a platform that, like I said, it's been very rewarding to me, both in the sense of my personal branding, if you would, like helping me to promote me online, but also, just like I said, the skills that you, as a man, it's really the skills you have and what you bring to the table that makes your value. And then as you increase your value, that's how you get more money. It's not just about like, you know, you can work more hours and do all these things, but if you're not bringing more skills and more things to the table, why would someone pay you more? So when you have more skills and you have more abilities to do things, you're just incentively, people are going to feel the need to pay you more just because of what you can do. And then, of course, if God is for you,
Who can
just
be
follow
against you?
that path.
Yep. What's going on, family? If you want financial freedom, you need time freedom. And both start with increasing your income. That's why I've partnered with my good friends over at Careerist to help you land your first high paying job in tech in as little as, check this out, 6 months. Now, you don't need to let the word tech scare you. Please don't. This isn't about coding, all right? Careerist offers real opportunities in areas like quality assurance, tech sales, UX, UI design, and data analytics. No tech background or a 4-year bachelor degree even required. You'll get hands-on training from industry pros, real-world experience, career coaching, and even, check this out, an internship to help you stand out when you go to apply for jobs. And it's 100% remote. You can work from the comfort of your home. If you're ready to take control of your money, your schedule, and your future, I need you to head over to anthonyoneal.com/careerist. That's anthonyoneal.com/CAREERIST and start your journey to a better life today. Now, Isaac, I could definitely tell you went to theology school, man. I could tell, Doc, because you said a lot, man, and that right there, you was like, your value is not, how much money you make or what you can do. It's what do you bring to the table, right? For the company. And to get what you bring to the table, you're going to need some certifications. You'll need some more education, because if you're not growing, if you're not evolving, if you're not maturing, then it means you can't bring nothing back to the table because you're not coming back wiser, smarter, or better. And so I want to stay right there a little bit, because I think a lot of people are watching right now and saying, okay, I hear you talking about sales engineering. One of the things that we specialize here, especially for this year in 2025, is breaking things all the way down to a kindergartner level, right? So that way everybody, the most intellectual people down to, the beginners, can understand exactly what we're talking about. So from a very basic kindergartner level, what exactly is sales engineering? To someone who's watching this and never really heard about it before, how would you explain this to your first grade nephew or niece?
Yeah. So a sales engineer is exactly kind of what you said, is someone that takes complicated things and makes them easy to be understood. That's really the simplest job of a sales engineer. And so whether it's taking a CEO who is really good at running a business, he's not necessarily good at software programming.
Yeah.
But he needs this tool to help him manage his business. The sales engineer's job is to explain all the ins and outs of the tool in a way that's not overwhelming and technical. That's going to make him confused, but in a way where he can see the value in that tool and be able to make a buying decision, and even potentially show competitive tools and how yours is a better tool for his specific solution, or how yours is a better solution than the competitors. So it's simply put, and this can be across many sectors. It can be whether it's in actual tech sales, or it can be like Caterpillar, tractor trailers, any sort of field where you have a very complicated sort of product or solution that needs to be especially explained to C-suite type people who are very smart, intellectual, but they want that information short, fast, and just the most valuable things that make sense for them. How they can see and really, truly this too, they're masterful storytellers who can make the customer see themselves in that role, see themselves using the product, see themselves using the solution. So it's like that, explaining how the product works in story form.
Doesn't sound hard at all. It's very basic. There are people out there in the world who have a problem. As a sales engineer, it is my responsibility to provide them a solution that they understand, that they see value in, which I think is great, because heck, as a business owner, I have a problem, and I'm always looking for solutions that are affordable, that brings value to my business, but that value and affordability should be able to help me make more money and make more impact and reach more people,
Right.
specifically when it comes to my business. So I love that, because when I think about what you just said, Careerist, right, is the boot camp. But at the same time, uh, would you say Careerist got you the basic knowledge, right, of the information that you needed to be a good executor of helping people understand the tool, but then you had to come on to the job, help this particular job, learn it, and then put that on top of what you learned at Careerist, because Careerist can't teach you every single tech company out there, but they can give you the basic information to get you into the door. And then once you get inside the door, you got to learn from there. So would you say Careerist positions you well with the very minimum upfront cost fee that they charge over the months that they've been with you? How did you feel once you got your job? Did you feel prepared enough from the boot camp from Careerist to do your job at a good standard?
Yes, I'll say that
Awesome.
absolutely. So, and I'll say this too. I took the careers program because I wanted to look more credible. I already believed in myself that I
Wow.
could do the job. I knew that as a salesperson, I can sell, but it's hard to just come to a company and say, "Hey, let me sell your product." And so, if I had this certificate on my back, like I felt like I would look more credible. They would see me as someone who invested in myself and take me more seriously. So that was one of the reasons why I did it. But yes, they gave me a very, like, my dad is a computer programmer. And so ever from a young age, I've actually had experience or access to advanced computing. But I did like a Hello World applet at like, was I 12 or 13? And it was complicated. It was in Java. And if anyone knows, Java is like to do a Hello World applet versus Python. Python's like one line where Java's like a whole page, and it's just too much. And so it was for a little 13-year-old kid, it was too much for me. But now with vibe coding, it's very easy to get your programming done. But yeah, so it gave me a whole lot of a wider understanding of advanced computing with APIs and how different softwares integrate together. Because now, from the various jobs that I've worked for, that's one of the things you have to do. Because I also, because of the background at web.com, I became a partner in a marketing agency. And so doing marketing automation, being able to set up things where, if I want thousands of people to follow through this thing, I don't want to have to do it every time. I just want to set it up one time so it can be done every time. And that's where automations and workflows really come. So when you're doing that, you're connecting different systems together, and you have to use APIs. And then sometimes with Shopify, you have to build custom apps and do all sorts of different little things. So um, getting that background with Careerist, I would have never been able to. I should say never. I should say it. I cut you all the years of YouTube out, right? Where I would have to go through and studying. It was like a shortcut where it was weekly. They had classes. There was scheduled homework. There was assignments. Plus, I got to see quite a few of my friends have other jobs. Like I think there's UKG is a big sales engineering firm, and they hired a few of my classmates. And so it's cool to see that it was real. It was at first when you're on the other end of it, you're like nervous and you're not sure, but yeah, it's real. It worked. I mean, for me at least it did. And but I also worked hard. I didn't I So like you mentioned, how did it help me? While I was in the careers program, I was actively looking. I asked them, I'm like, are we allowed to like take roles and do stuff? And so I got my first little account executive gig, which is what ended up me becoming a partner with that agency in the end. And so that was something I did as like a side hustle on the side all this time through, which I got while I was in there. And then my job that I got, the first one was like a product development manager and kind of like an inbound closer for this publishing house. My hope was he wanted to retire. He wanted to give me the business, and it didn't work out like it planned. So I got another job in that same community as a sales and marketing coordinator for a med spa. And I was doing a whole bunch of automations for him with Go High Level, setting up a bunch of inbound people and Facebook ads. And my budget at the time was like $2,000. Go forward to where I come here to this job, and I've been looking into Shopify for a long time, but I never had a Shopify store that I could play with, except for the $3 you pay for the 1 month trials. Um, Here, I asked him what's his budget. He told me his budget on Google Ads was $30,000 a month. I immediately knew if I'm going from 2,000 to 30, I can do better, right? I can take that budget and make it do more than what you're already doing. So now 2025, my budget is $250,000. So
Wow.
this, so yeah, we did 5.5 last year. And so this year I was able to get 5%. Yeah. 5% of what we made last year as my budget for this year, which is $250,000. And so we're about 20,000 a month that we're spending. So it went from 30,000 on just Google to where I've diversified it to Facebook, Pinterest, and radio ads, I've Post Pilot. We're doing a whole bunch of different types of campaigns, but because of that, we're able to make more money spending less on each channel. So everything is going really well. And like I said, I'm just looking forward to, we have product market fit. So it's just about finding more customers and who are looking for healthy foods and looking for easier simplicity of ordering and getting that sent to them.
No, man. Nah, Alex, you are winning, man. You are winning. Last question, and y'all, we're going to put Careerist information inside of today's show notes. Go to anthonyoneal.com/careerist. We're going to also put Isaac's information inside of today's show notes as well, so you all can follow him or rock with him because he has some amazing content as well. So make sure y'all do that. But Isaac, got to ask you this question, man. You said you're not making six figures yet. I appreciate you being real and being authentic with my community. What would you say is your goal? When do you say in this tech space? Because you have freedom. So maybe your goal is, I don't really need six figures, because I believe the more income I pay you as a boss, the more I require you to be here. And it sounds like you have a mixture of the both. Like, hey, I'm making good money. I'm saving 50% of my money, but I also have freedom to do the things that I desire, both personally and spiritually. And it's like, it sounds, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like Careerist put you in a good position and you really don't want to change it. Like, you would like to make more, but then you also still enjoy your freedom. Am I right here?
So it's funny you mentioned this. I'm actually, if you know Shopify and you know YouTube, there's a person named Jan, and
Yeah.
I'm actually about to take this course by him. It's $1,500, but he's knocked it down to $850. And so I'm actually about to take another Shopify course, which is going to give me more mastery of JavaScript. So I'll be actually, because like I said, vibe coding is great, but I do have goals and I want to get higher, right? And I don't want to be complacent. And the way that my pay scale is, I get paid as, let's say this, I have 1% ownership of the company, if that we can consider it that way. And so, the more that the company gets, the more that I get rewarded. And then on top of my base pay, there's bonuses as well. And so as we keep hitting certain metrics, like, yeah, this year I could make over six figures easily. And probably multiple if we get to it. Right. But, that's the thing. Making making money, especially with this type of business, there's just certain things you have to do. And I'm learning as I grow, right? Every day is another opportunity for me to look at who's already out there and doing things and take from what's them and apply it here and experiment. But so I am putting things in front of myself. I'm like I said, I'm paying for another course from another YouTuber, and I could just pay for the ones from Shopify, but I'm actually going to Jan specifically because I understand what it's like to pay someone who's already gone through that, who has that knowledge, and who can bring you to that result that you want faster. Plus, then you get access to his community, his networks, and he wants to bring more Shopify jobs. And so actually what I would love to do is take the knowledge of what I'm learning here. And if other Shopify store owners want help, then I can be somewhat of a consultant, somewhat of a growth operator to help them. And so I love what I do for Country Life and the freedom that they've given me and the ability to learn how to use Shopify, because it's a very expensive software. It's very difficult to learn. It took me a whole year. It actually took me 10 months to be able to manipulate the front end of the website with Liquid is just like how I want to do. And even now I still, like I said, run to ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, this isn't working, dude. How do I get this? So, but it's a part of the job, and I actually like it. So if I didn't like what I do, I wouldn't be doing it. And that's why I took the job, is because I knew. We actually met at a restaurant. I asked him, what he's doing. He said, this is what I really want. And I just gave him an hour of advice of how I would grow his business. And he's like, come help me do it. And I'm like, I'm not going to move to Michigan. You're crazy. It's cold up there. This is in Georgia. And by December of that year, my boss was just, I didn't feel like I was being respected and treated. I was really working hard for this guy. And so I said, you know what, give me an offer. Let's take a look at it. He gave me that, and I said, I'm do it. I'll move. And so just drove up, and it's been no looking back.
Man, I love it, man. No, I love it, man. And I want to thank you for your time today. We actually need to get you the next time you're in the DMV area. We got to get you on the show in the studio, bro.
For sure.
I love your story. I love your passion behind it, man. Thank you. We tried to do this 3 times. One time it was a miss on my end. The next time it was just a miscommunication. And
that was on me. It was on me.
Hey, man, we all good, but this was worth it. Like, this conversation, man, I want to say was worth it, because I think one of the most realest conversations and one of the most authentic conversations I've had about, life. And what I hear from you, what I'm walking away from today is, he paid a very small cost to get the education from Careerist. It got him inside the door. Not only is he making good income, but he's saving 50% of his income. And not only is he saving 50% of his income, but it sounds like he got about at least 20 to 30% of his time throughout the week to where he can go off and serve God, do mission trips. And to me, that sounds like a great husband in the making, a great father in the making, that is more mission driven, not money driven. But we all desire money. Don't get it twisted. We know that that's what he desires, but I love the balance of it. And I believe that's what the tech offers, the tech world offers. So we're way over our time, man. Thank you all so much for watching today's show. We're going to drop all of Careerist information inside of the show notes. Y'all go check out their page, get into the sales engineering programs. They even have a quality control program over there. In today's day and time, I'm telling everyone, there's 2 fields I'm looking at. I'm looking at the technology field. If I'm going to work a 9-to-5 job, because they're going to give you the most benefits, better income, and you get to work from home. Or I'm getting into the influencer type space, because you can make money from home, making real good money, making an impact. And so the tech space, man, listen, get down with Careerist, check them out. They're going to be inside today's show notes, anthonyoneal.com/careerist. All right, y'all have a good one. Be blessed.